On this reading, earlier I was shuffling my tarot cards and the devil came out. And when I was looking at that card, I thought of an Incubus Demon. So I kept shuffling and I got some more downloads. And I thought about a child. A child popped into my head. So someone has attached an Incubus Demon to a child. And when I got that message, I pulled these cards out. And I was just trying to go a little bit deeper into what was going on. Y'all excuse my child in the background. But that's confirmation. It was a child. I got keeping secrets, wasting time, depression taking over, ignoring red flags, getting tangled up in lies, left out in love, children involved, under third-party control, dark influences, lost romance, past wounds, drawing the other in with seduction, never satisfied, feeling like they're sinking with no way out, pretends to be blinded to the truth, fear of vulnerability, stuck behind a mask, extra salty, losing faith, never tells the truth, in hiding, watches everything. Okay. And what I was getting from that is someone that did this is wasting their time with keeping the secrets. And it's making them fall into a deep, deep depression. And whoever this is that was hiding this secret, either they was the person that participated in doing it, initiated doing it, or was just like a friend or someone that was told about this information. But they ignored all the red flags to stop. Every bad sign that they got, they just ignored the shit and kept going. And when I got this Tangled Up in Lies card right here, sorry about the reflection, guys. But when I seen that card, I immediately thought about a child being tied down like in bondage. Like she's standing there with her hands like at each side of her, and all I see is like chains attached to her from every which way. And that made me think of them binding this demon to them as a child. Whoever did it was definitely influenced by dark forces. They fell into the temptation, either because they were jealous about this child's future, about this child's parent not wanting to be with them, walking away from them. It could be male or female that did this to this child. Because I kept getting, what I got from the extra salty card was that they were jealous of this child. They could also be jealous, I mean not jealous, but mad about the fact that everything they did to this child kept failing. Like as this child got older, the path that they wanted this child to walk did not work. Drawing the other in with seduction, this card right here. What I was getting from that is that someone wanted this child to be very promiscuous. They wanted a Jezebel spirit to be attached to them as well. Jezebel, however you want to say it. Spirit to be attached to them. And for them to always be unsatisfied. Always like uncontent. If they ever get a partner, whether it's male or female, flip it whichever way it need to be. Whoever their partner is, they're never satisfied. They have to have more. Like they, even if it's a good man or a good woman to them, they always gotta have more. They hunger for being satisfied. The nether regions down there would never be satisfied. They always have to get more. And while all this stuff was happening to this child, like they just felt like they had no way out. Like they were losing all faith that they can fight against this. That they started believing that this is their destiny, this is their path, because everything that they went through that caused all these deep trauma wounds to happen to them. It also made them scared of being vulnerable to anyone because everyone that they trusted was a part of this. Everyone that was close to them, like their family, the first people you trust, was all in on this. They were all in on tearing this child down, putting this on them, destroying their future before they can become an adult. So by the time they become an adult, they don't walk their path. They're stuck in this seductive energy where they always want to have sexual activities going on, whether that be sex work or just constantly in and out of bed with someone at all times. Like they wanted it to be so bad on this child that they couldn't think correctly. They wanted it to be so bad that they always were depressed. They always had self-harm thoughts. They wanted them to have multiple children and for no one to be there. So like they always ran into deadbeats all the time. Every person that they had never wanted to take care of the kids, and if they was around, they were always beating on them because they always ran into bad people. They ignored all the signs. When someone is in their life that's bad for them, they'll ignore every single sign. So they end up like that. With multiple children, they end up with multiple wounds, beaten. So this child could have experienced domestic violence at a very young age. And whoever these people is that did this to this child, they wanted that cycle to continue. And they watched them in all areas of their life as they became older. And once again, like I said, like lost in romance. Lost romance. They wanted so many men to hurt them that they lose all faith in the opposite sex, so they would never meet their destined partner. So they could never carry out their true path that they were supposed to walk. They always kept what they did to this child hidden. They always made people believe that they were taking good care of this child. Nothing happened. When people asked why the child looked all down and depressed or anything, they would tell them like, oh, my child's just struggling with depression. You know how kids are. Or somebody did this to them at school. They don't like what the teacher said, or they were being bullied. Stuff like that. You know how kids are. Just constant lies. They always put on this mask that they were someone great in this child's life when they were the main devils in this child's life. And they wanted this child to keep their mouth shut. Whatever I'm doing to you, don't tell anyone. I want you to be scared to tell anyone. And earlier, I was listening to music while I was channeling this message. And I saw, like, you know how kids, I'll be like, Mom or Dad, there's a monster in my room. Check up under the bed. Check in the closet like it's a monster in the closet. When I was channeling this Incubus Demon. Whatever this is, like, that's how they scared this child. They scared this child into feeling and believing that they were in such a scary place that they had no way out. Like they lost all hope. And every time this child did reach out, they did open their mouth, someone shut them down. Someone would tell them like, oh no, that can't be what the case is, or you must be having nightmares, it must be bad dreams. And they were right about that. It was a nightmare. This child was living a nightmare. And it caused this child to be in a very dark place. And this child was constantly fighting with themselves. Like it was something put inside this child that this child was constantly fighting. sexual urges at a very young age. They were fighting, wanting to like what was happening to them. Like it left them like very confused. Like you see how this man is just sitting here with his hands on his head. It left them in a place of constant confusion because they knew like something inside their heart was telling them that what was happening to them was wrong. But even though they felt like it was wrong, another part of them liked it. And for that, that made them feel ashamed. That made them not want to open up about it anymore because they felt like it was their fault. They felt ashamed, which was a part of what these people wanted to do to this child. Like they wanted this child to feel pleasure in this. Oh, this is just sick, man. They did. They wanted this child definitely to like what they were doing. So when they became older, they did exactly that. Always wanted to have sex with people. Walked away from their own morals. Had no morals. Walked a very dark path. Yep. There it goes. They influenced this child. And you see like how everyone on here is drinking. They put stuff in this child's drink to maybe like put this child to sleep. So men or women could do whatever the heck they wanted. Whether this child is male or female doesn't matter. Because if they were male, they had men and women doing sexual acts to them. If they were female, they had men and women doing sexual acts to them. What else is going on with this incubus and child? Spirit, please and thank you. What I say earlier, they felt guilty. They felt guilty. They felt like this was their fault. They wanted this child to be codependent on only them, to feel bound to only this family, to where they can run to no one else for help. They wanted this child to get to the point to where they were addicted to drinking. They were addicted to smoking. They were addicted to these drugs that they were giving this child. 133, I just seen on the clock. To become very codependent and fall into a deep, dark cycle of just constant sex. Like that type of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas type energy. Lurking in the shadows. Sorry y'all for that glare. It's my ring light. Lurking in the shadows. Lurking in the shadows. What was lurking in the shadows, Spirit? What's lurking in the shadows? What was lurking in the shadows, Spirit? Yeah. Another confirmation of what I was saying earlier too. For them to be codependent on only this family. They trusted no one else. 1:44 on the clock. They trusted no one else with these secrets. So that's what's lurking in the shadows. This child kept the secret. This child hid it. They buried it deep within themselves. They hid it from everyone else. They didn't want anyone to know about it because they felt ashamed, which was the goal of this group. They wanted this child to just blame themselves and feel like something was wrong with them. Yeah. What I said earlier about walking a dark path. They didn't want this child to lean on God for anything. They wanted this child to feel like God left them, that they couldn't change. Divine intervention would have been them changing. Divine intervention would have been God coming in and stopping this. They wanted this child to feel like God was not there because God did not prevent it. God did not stop it. That's also a part of them losing faith. They wanted this child to lose faith in God. Manipulative female. So someone's mother, aunt, older sister. I'm really getting strongly mother or aunt figure. And this child was always defensive. Or this mother or aunt could have been very defensive, hot and cold. Yeah. Whoever this woman is was always hot and cold with this child, and it was very manipulative to this child. And this child was always on the fence because they didn't know whether she was gonna be happy or mad, lash out at this child. You know, like how a child could be so scared to come home because they don't know if their mom or dad is going to be snappy or not. Could be so scared to ask for anything because they don't know their mother or dad's attitude, their mood, their current mood. And my heart just dropped. So yeah, this child was definitely scared to not follow the rules, to not agree with what this person was saying. Testing boundaries. Goes out too much. What was I saying earlier about them drinking? About them wanting this child to be seductive, always partying, always clubbing. Just not walking in a low vibrational path. Now, I'm not saying because you club or drink that you're just always, that you're a low vibrational person. But if you always do this, you are. Let's just face the facts, you are. Now, some people can, you know, do this in like moderation, do it to just have, you know, their little fun. But if you're codependent on doing this, that's low vibrational. And with testing these boundaries, I really feel like I said earlier, the child was just scared. Like, is she going to be okay? Like, they will do something small to see, test this manipulative female's current mood. Another thing I just heard in my head was this manipulative female thought this child was testing her. Like this child thought they were grown. Whenever this child would defend themselves or talk back, how dare you talk back to me? How dare you stand up for yourself? How dare you not just take what I'm doing to you? Yeah, full of drama. How dare you not sit back and listen to what I say? How dare you get upset because I'm forcing? Y'all, I was literally about to say because I'm forcing men on you. And this was at the bottom of the deck. I split both my decks well, my one deck, and split it in half. And I'm taking turns shuffling each half. And this was at the bottom. Hold on, baby. Mama's doing the video. Y'all, my son loves being in my videos. And I just got another download from that, how my son constantly likes being up under me. This woman kept this child close to her. With that bondage that I was saying earlier just popped back up in my head. She kept strict rule over this child. And yes, I get it. Parents like to, watch their children. And you're supposed to. You're supposed to. You're supposed to look for their best interests at heart. But this level of control was insane. Like, this child literally had no privacy at all. None. And I mean, she went overboard with it. Reading diaries, reading personal messages, going through every single item this child has. Now, I get it, you want to protect your child. But this was too much. This was way too much. She knew personal stuff about this child that she wasn't supposed to be in. Now, I see, like, if, your son or your daughter has a new girlfriend and you just want to make sure they're not being sexually active. But this right here was a no. That was not why she was doing this. Because she already knew the person was sexually active. Because she was doing it. She was forcing the sex upon the child. Go play, baby. Mama's doing the video. She was forcing this child. Sorry, y'all. I had to pause the video and get my baby together. 222. But she was the one forcing this child to do sexual acts. So you knew this child was already sexually active. And it was grown men. It was grown men that this child used. With this begging for return, I feel like this child is already an adult now and left the home. And this woman wants back control over this child who has now become a grown woman or a grown man. Open the door. Yes, like, she wants this child to open the door back up and let her back into their life. Whoever this is isn't taking a manipulation anymore. They walked away. They refuse for this woman to have a hold over their life anymore. They refuse to let this woman keep them in a very low vibrational state. They refuse to think that they are low. Stop, baby. Refuse to think that they are low. And they have to be sexual all the time. Like, they know that's not them. And whoever this child was, yes, whoever this child was, they were not into sexual things as a child. They were very timid. If it was a little girl, she always covered up all her body. She didn't like people looking at her body. If it was a little boy, he was uncomfortable with the sex talk. He was uncomfortable with looking at different parts of a woman, nude. And this woman is stuck in the past as well. Both of them are replaying the past right now. And I'm hearing the child is replaying the past and realizing how much they've grown. And seeing that once they finally got away from all this, that that's not who they were. That they had control over themselves once they cut this toxic cancer out their life. This woman could be a Cancer, heavy earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. What else is going on for spirit with this incubus? That incubus is still attached to this child. The woman no longer has control, but that incubus is still attached. Yeah. They're still scared. Fear of intimacy. They're still scared of being intimate with someone. And it's not sexually. This fear of intimacy is a fear of them having a real, genuine connection with opposite sex. Whoever this woman was, try to make them like the same sex. Try to make them go up against everything that they wanted. Now, if you like the same sex, there's nothing wrong with that for you. If you chose it on your own. It was consensual, you know, not forced. And yeah, this person knew that this child could not be tamed. They knew this was this child's future. But they wanted this child stuck in an on edge type of mentality. Always scared that they're going to mess up. Scared that people will judge them if they knew the secrets of what happened to them. Even I'm hearing suicidal thoughts. So this child could have probably been very suicidal. But every time they tried to take themselves out, it didn't work. These people could have tried to take the child out as well. Just to... They had a fear of it getting out. That was the secret that they were keeping. That they tried to take this child out. They were smiling in this child's face. This child had insecurities. But with this mirror right here, the insecurities that this child had was projected. They wanted this child to feel ugly. This child was very beautiful. But the person who did this felt ugly. They hated how much attention this child naturally got. How much attention people naturally gravitated towards this child. They hated it. Yeah. These people are very immature. So they try to project the insecurities on this child so the child wouldn't be so outgoing. So the child will feel small. Yeah. Feeling blocked out. Feeling dead inside. Whoever this person is, they feel empty. They feel empty. And they wanted the same for this child. They wanted this child to feel like no one in the world truly loves them. Because you got to think about it. These people were the first people that this child were introduced to coming into the world. These people were probably telling this child they love them, but beating them. You know, with abuse, you can't always just abuse the child or the person you're trying to control. You can't always abuse them. You have to abuse them, show them love. That'll keep them in a constant state of confusion. That's like they beat me and they mistreat me, but they do love me, right? Like, y'all hear my son, wake up. This person, this child needed to wake up to the reality that this was not love. That this was not love. This was all manipulation. They probably gained a lot off this child. Whether that be monetary gain or feeling like they were dominating this child. Feeling like they were empowered because the real world had them feeling powerless. They felt like the real world didn't love and care for them. Like they were blocked out from the world, so they tried to keep it going with this child. Like, oh no, you think you're going to go out into this world and be happy? You think you're going to go out into this world and conquer it and people love and adore you? Consumed with appearances, feeling played out. Yeah, they wanted the world to see them in the light that they saw this child. And they felt played. They felt played. Like, how can someone so young have the gifts that I want? Why do I have to take care of this child and raise him? But I'm the one feeling blocked out from this world. And whoever this was, oh, I did not see this car hiding. And I was just about to say, whoever this was feels played by this child's parent. Because whoever this child's other parent is, like let's say if this was this child's mother, biological mother or biological father doing this to them and not an aunt. Because, you know, sometimes a relative gets custody of a child and raises them. But let's say if this was the mother or father doing it. Mama, whoever this other person's... It's over there on your table. Where? Hold on, you guys. Whoever the other parent was to this child. So if it was the mother of this child, she was meeting in secret with the father of this child. And whoever the father was, this mother was not supposed to be meeting with him. 333 on the clock. This mother was not supposed to be sleeping with him. This was a forbidding relationship. Someone was having an affair. Whether it was her or the father. Or it could be both parties. Because I'm feeling both parties. Both parties were in a relationship with someone else and cheating on their partners. Or it could have been the way I said it first. One of the two was doing it instead of both. Disappearing act. So whoever this other person was, the other party, the other half to this child disappeared. So that could have made the mother feel played. And since she felt played, she took it out on this child. And she destroyed this child in the process for what their father did. And another story I'm getting, the other download, is that both of them, the father and the mother, was a part of abusing this child together. And then one of them disappeared. One of them started to wake up to this and wanted out, so they just disappeared. Or another message I'm getting, both parents were abusing this child, and one of the parties just disappeared without saying anything because he or she had created another family outside of this power duo, and they didn't want to tell the other party, so they just disappeared. My car is flying. I just seen the car flipped over. Yep. Outdated thinking. With this outdated thinking, I'm immediately thinking that this mother felt like they should be married. You see this ring on this finger? She felt like, since I'm pregnant, you need to marry me. Because you know, in the old days, they will marry you if you're pregnant. Consumed by ideas of love, fading out, feeling unlovable, fighting at all costs. I'm not going to put these up. Okay, what I'm getting with this, just from looking at these group of cards, this mother or father, whichever party it was that stayed, was fighting at all costs to get this other person to come back. And when they left, they felt unloved. Like, so you don't love me? Back to what I was saying earlier, they projected onto the child. And their sanity faded out. They lost all sanity. And they were just consumed by the thoughts of this other person. Consumed by this man. That's all they could think about was this person. That's it. They didn't care about the child. She just wanted his heart. You see the girl constantly reaching for the heart? She wanted his heart. And he wouldn't give her that. And for that, the child had to pay. And you know, when you're in a vulnerable position, that makes it easier for something to come in and trick you. For something to come in and take over you. I'm also getting that this child was fighting at all costs to keep their sanity, because this parent, this abuse, whether it was one parent or both parents or the aunt, the uncle, the family, because some had a whole family doing this to them. So this child was fighting to keep their sanity. Yep. And it sent this child through a dark night of the soul. They had to find themselves. They had so much hurt, so much trauma that this child had to heal. And I'm getting this is what happened at an adult age. Yes. This happened at an adult age. This child kept attracting partners that was toxic which is what this family wanted. They put spell work over the child to only attract partners that abuse them. What else is going here with this incubus and this child spirit? The incubus energy is more like faded in the background. Like, it's mainly the family's energy coming out. Always trying to fact check everyone. What's going on with that spirit? Who's always trying to fact check? What's going on with that? A manipulative male. A manipulative male is always trying to fact check everyone. I don't know what that's about, but that's for someone. Or you know what I just got? This man fact-checked this woman. He didn't believe the child was his, so he went back and fact-checked. She was cheating. For the man that didn't take part in the abuse of this child, he was around before the child started getting abused, and this woman was cheating on him. So he went back and fact-checked her to see if she was where she said she was, what was she doing. And this card was hiding. Haunted past. Ooh, y'all trying to jump out. Yeah. And now force and control then came out. The force and control. The waiting game. This woman was waiting on him to come back and he never returned. She was trying to force him to come back. And her cheating just haunted her. Her cheating haunted her. Because it made her lose out on this man's love. I'm seeing a man play with his child. Yeah. I'm seeing a man play with his child. So whoever the man was that didn't take part in abusing this child, he was very loving towards his child. And when he found out about this woman cheating, he left. But that he didn't know he was leaving this child in the hands of someone so evil. Because she put on a mask to him. He did not know she was like that. She's the type of person that acts good, pretends to be good when she gets what she wants. But as soon as she don't get what she wants, the real side of her shows. Too clingy. She was jealous. She was jealous. I know this says too much distance, but pay attention to the hands. She was jealous of this father and this child's relationship. She was jealous. With that too clingy coming in, she was very jealous. She hated it. She felt like he wasn't giving her enough attention. You know, those mothers that's jealous of their daughters type thing. Ooh. Infidelity. Financial worries. Lipstick evidence. So yes, this man found evidence of her cheating. Home worries. Anything else in here hiding? repeating patterns. It's hiding. Driven by lust. So yeah, back to what I was saying earlier. This woman wanted this child to be lustful. She's driven by lust. She wanted this child to be the same as her. I'm hearing in my head now, you think you're better than me? She felt like this young child that had so much light, so much spark within them that they felt like they were better than her. A child, you guys. And I'm not talking about a 16, 17-year-old. This is like 10 and under. This child's sexual assault started very, very young. Younger than 10, I'm hearing. And this man provided the financial stability, the financial worries and home worries right here. This man definitely provided the home for them. He paid all the bills. But she was stuck, driven by lust, which kept her repeating patterns. So instead of her being a good woman to this man, she was busy humping. Her greed for money is also a part of what had her doing this to this child. She needed money. She needed stability. That child's virginity was her stability. She sold it. And she sold the child. Over and over. I just heard. In hotels. You see this room? It looked like a hotel room. Oh, this is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. Oh, this is crazy. Where does this incubus come in, though, Spirit? Too much distance fell out. Card from earlier. Too much distance. She called on this incubus to drain this child's energy to eventually kill this child. To constantly strip this child of her life or his life. And that child became distant. Like they were physically there, but mentally they were gone. With this too much distance, they were gone. They checked out. They had to. They had to be within themselves majority of the time. Okay, Spirit, give me a few more cards to end this message, please. Give me a few more cards to end this message. A few more cards, please, Spirit, to end this message. Okay. Always stressed. Acts innocent but will cause betrayal. Looks down on others. Yeah, this mother looked down on this child. And like I was saying earlier, she was worried about financial stability. 49. She was worried about financial stability, so she used that child And she would always pretend like she was an angel. What did I say earlier, you guys? When I was talking about her acting like she was sweet and good. She acted good when she got her way. But as soon as she didn't get her way, she showed her evil side. And when that man found out she was cheating, that was the ultimate betrayal. Alright guys, with that, I'm going to close out this message. I hope this was entertaining for you. This is my first video to be uploaded. Expect many more. I'm gonna love to take you guys on my spiritual journey as I'm just getting started, y'all. So bear with me. We're gonna have this fun ride together. I love you guys. Stay prayed up and protected at all times. Make sure you always talk to God. I love y'all, love lights. Bye.